A Step into the Past Volume 20 Chapter 1 Book 20 Chapter 1 A Union of Mutual Benefit. Under the escort of the 18 elite guards, Xiang Xiaolong, together with his brothers Teng and Jing, and Tao Fang made their way towards the palace. Suddenly they could hear hoofbeats from the front, and in the dark fog a lone rider was racing towards them, with another 10-odd riders chasing after him. It looked as if the long street has become a lane for races. Teng Yi shouted, "Stop your horses!" The rider in front has rode into the ring of light cast by the lanterns, and they could see he was bleeding all over his body as he shouted, "Great General, save me!" Everyone took a closer look and was shocked to see that it was Quoxing. Quoxing wanted to rein in his horse, but obviously he could not hold up any longer as he fell sideways to the left of the horse. Just before the warhorse skidded to a stop and Quoxing was about to crash onto the ground, the sound of the bowstring quivering was heard as an arrow was shot out from the hands of one of the riders at the back. Its accuracy was so unbelievable as it entered the back of Quoxing's neck and exited from the front of his neck. By the time Quoxing reached the ground, he is already a lifeless corpse. Even though Xiang Xiaolong's reflexes had always been fast, the scene was enough to make his body go numb. The 18 elite guards drew their bows in unison and swiftly cocked their arrows. The group of riders rode up to where Quoxing had fallen and reined in their horses. The leader, Guanzongzi, was hanging his bow back onto his horse's back as he said loudly, "Commander Xiang, have seen it for yourself. Quoxing tried to escape in guilt, and your subordinate had no choice but to carry out orders and have him killed." Xiang Xiaolong's whole body went cold, and at the same time a storm of fury went up in him. With a clang, he drew out his 100-battle sword and said with a cold snort, "Guanzongzi, how dare you kill my deputy commander right in front of my face?" Guanzongzi's personal guards raised their shields and went in front of him, forming a wall of shields. Guanzongzi replied with a composed smile, "Commander Xiang, please do not be mistaken and listen to my explanation. I am under His Majesty's order to arrest the killers who tried to assassinate His Majesty this morning, and I found out that the killers were in cahoots with the owner of the warrior school, Chu Risheng, who brought them to Xianyang. Now Chu Risheng and all the killers are arrested, and Minister Liu questioned them personally. That Quoxing resisted arrest and ran away, as Commander Xiang can very well see. If I have failed my duty in any way, you can always bring it up to His Majesty, Minister Liu, and the Dowager." He then added in a shout, "Take away the body." For a moment Xiang Xiaolong did not know how to react as well as he shouted, "No one's allowed to touch him." Since Guanzongzi has gained the upper hand, he just laughed and said, "Commander Xiang has given his orders, would I dare to disobey? Let us leave." He slapped his horse and went away. His men retreated on their horses for 10-odd steps before shouting in unison as they turned their horses' head around and ran after Guanzongzi. Xiang Xiaolong and the rest looked at one another, their eyes finally resting on Quoxing's body, lying in a pool of blood with an arrow in his neck. Tao Fang sighed, "In the end we still underestimated Liu Bue. This move is indeed extremely vicious, not only destroying the warrior school and at the same time cause us and Lao Ai a loss of face. He can also point the finger towards Lao Ai, or even do Bai and Pu Hu now." Teng Yi said seriously, "Maybe Liu Bue will make use of this opportunity to cause more trouble and deal with Lao Ai and his men." Xiang Xiaolong shook his head, "He definitely will not be able to touch Lao Ai. Xiao Jun, send some men to help settle Quoxing's funeral affair and at the same time protect his family. I will enter the palace immediately to see His Majesty and discuss how we should handle this matter." He nudged his horse's belly and rode forward, unable to take another look at Quoxing's gruesome outcome. All along, although Guanzongzi is his enemy, he still felt there are certain similarities between them and there's an inkling of understanding. But at this moment, he only wants to tear him in pieces, and he won't feel an ounce of pity at all. When he reached the main road leading towards the palace, it was jam-packed with humans and carriages. The officials and royalty all behaved as if they had no idea of the bloody exchanges in Xianyang City and were all happily on their way to attend the feast. When he reached the palace gates, he met Lord Chan Guen, who came up to him with a grave expression and said, His Majesty happens to be looking for Xiaolong. Xiang Xiaolong suddenly remembered something and instantly broke out in sweat as he told Teng Yi, Xianyang City will definitely be heavily guarded tonight, Zhao Dai and Dan Mimi. Teng Yi was hugely shaken as he replied, I understand. Before turning back, Xiang Xiaolong hurriedly instructed Lord Wenchang to send a team of imperial guards to follow Teng Yi and protect him before he entered the palace to attend to the summons. He still can't come to terms with Quoxing's death. Indeed, his head has been clouded by victory, that he didn't even think about how widely spread is Lu Bue's power in Xianyang City. With his intelligence, how can he not come to the conclusion that with the assassination attempt on Xiao Pan's life, Du Bai and Pu Hu will certainly become implicated? Now that Lu Bue has arrested Chu Risheng, it's obvious that he wants to deal with Lao Ai. But he knows very well, or rather he knows from history that before Lao Ai public rebellion, there is nothing Lu Bue can do to Lao Ai. Once one makes an enemy out of Lu Bue, one careless mistake can mean a huge loss. Once he thought of how Guoxing had just offered his allegiance and ended up being shot dead by Guanzongzi right in front of his eyes, the sense of fury and helplessness really made him feel the impulse to immediately rouse his Wu family's elite warriors and kill their way into Lu's residence. At this point in time, Xiao Pan is in the study talking with his trusted aides Lord Chongping, Li Si, Wang Qi, and Wang Ling, his expression strangely calm. When he saw him coming, he called out joyously, Grand Tutor, dispense with ceremony. Xiang Xiaolong forced himself to suppress his tumultuous emotions and sat down below Wang Qi, asking solemnly, what's the current situation? Wang Qi replied, Guanzongzi sprung a surprise attack on the warrior school earlier, Chongji and Anjin Liang were killed immediately. Chu Risheng's right arm was shattered when they beat him with poles and the 200-odd warriors in the school were all arrested. On top of that, they questioned 2 of the injured assassins and obtained evidence. There's no way Chu Risheng can deny anything. Li Si, who was sitting opposite, added, those people have been sent to my place, including Chu Risheng, who all insisted they were under the orders of Lao Ai. Because the reopening of the Vinan warrior school was all due to the support and protection of Lao Ai, it'll be very difficult for Lao Ai to keep himself out of this matter. Xiao Pan said, I was looking for Grand Tutor because I want everyone to have a discussion, should we make use of this matter to get rid of Lao Ai? Xiang Xiaolong suddenly understood. Although Xiao Pan was forced to accept his marvelous plan of using Lao Ai to curb Lu Bue, but in face his hatred for Lao Ai is overwhelming because Lao Ai has taken Zhu Ji's attention away from him. Xiao Pan would very much like to find a chance to seriously hurt Zhu Ji in order to satiate the anger in his heart. Now that the Black Dragon is born, he is no longer so afraid of Lu Bue like in the past, that's why he feels that this idea is extremely tempting. Once he, Xiang Xiaolong, nods his head a little, Xiao Pan will give the orders. And maybe the other person who hates Lao Ai more than Xiao Pan, Lu Bue, will immediately send his men to kill all of Lao Ai's family and warriors, really castrate him and only hand him to Li Si, the Minister of Justice, after beating him to submission. Zhu Ji herself holds no real power, and if Xiao Pan doesn't stand on her side, Lu Bue will be able to do whatever he likes. Xiang Xiaolong heaved a sigh, where is Lao Ai now? Lord Chen Guen answered, he and a huge group of his trusted warriors have hidden themselves at Sweet Spring Palace. The Dowager sent her people here to summon His Majesty twice but was rejected subtly both times. Only now did Xiang Xiaolong realize the danger of the situation. Things are happening too fast. Lu Bue must have known long ago that Chu Risheng is connected to this matter, so he deliberately planned his attack before the start of the feast so that everyone will not be able to react in time. Everyone's gaze landed on him. They obviously know Xiao Pan's intention and they dare not object, neither do they wish to object. So they're waiting for him, the person who can influence the future Emperor Qin's decision, to speak up. In fact, Xiang Xiaolong is hard-pressed to find a strong reason why he should object. He saw Xiao Pan's bright eyes, staring unwaveringly at him, filled with yearning and anticipation. Ultimately Xiao Pan still treats him different from the others. Even though his authority is growing day by day, in the end he will still steadfastly respect his opinions. He gave a sigh before he told them that Guan Zongzi was killed right in front of his eyes. Everyone's countenance changed. Wang Ling cried out with fury, "This is going overboard." Xiang Xiaolong said calmly, "No one in here will give any sigh of regret over Lao Ai's death, but we must also consider the consequences." He then gave Li Si a look. This can be considered a chance for Li Si to show if he is indeed a true friend. Currently, besides Xiang Xiaolong, the only other person Xiao Pan trusts the most is Li Si. The others fall way behind. Li Si is an extremely smart person and knows what Xiang Xiaolong is thinking of. He nodded his head slightly in affirmation and said, "If we get rid of Lao Ai now, the person most affected would of course be the Dowager. If this were to happen, the Dowager's power will be shaken and it'll be difficult for her to interfere in court affairs. Under such circumstances, if Liu Bue join forces with the senior officials in court, maybe he will really be able to become the regent. Then the current favorable situation we created with the Black Dragon will go down the drain." Wang Qi said solemnly, "We can always propose Xiaolong become the regent in his capacity as the Grand Tutor, especially since Xiaolong has already proven his merit by saving His Majesty. Besides, with the birth of the Black Dragon, Wang Guan, Caize, and the rest knows who the true ruler is. Even if Liu Bue wants to twist the situation, I'm afraid there's nothing much he can do." Lord Chen Guen agreed, "There is no one else more suitable to become the regent other than Xiaolong." Xiang Xiaolong smiled wryly, "Naturally I am very happy that His Majesty and all of you think so highly of me, but since Liu Bue chose to make things difficult for Lao Ai this time, it must be because he's worried that we will remove Guan Zongzi from his post and he may not be able to point the finger at the Dowager. Obviously he has something up his sleeves and his ultimate motive will be to deal with our precious dragon." Xiao Pan was silent for a moment before he nodded his head. "Even we know that Chu Risheng is in cahoots with Du Bai and Pu Hu, so there's no reason for Liu Bue not to know. But this time his only target is Lao Ai, with no mention of Du Bai and Pu Hu at all. There must be more to this." Li Si's expression changed. Could it be that Liu Bue has already reached a secret agreement with Du Bai and Pu Hu to sacrifice Chu Risheng in order to topple Lao Ai and the Dowager? Then next he'll just have to, hey! Everyone's expression changed immediately. Lord Chen Guen exclaimed hoarsely, "This is definitely not without basis. Because when Pu Hu was on the way back from the religious rite, he was invited by Liu Bue to share his carriage. Maybe they've reached an agreement in the carriage. This is politics. No matter how impossible it seems, but under the sudden change of circumstances, enemies may become collaborators after weighing the pros and cons. From Liu Bue's perspective, he is already on opposing ends with Lao Ai and Zhu Ji. The political corporation with Xiao Pan and Xiang Xiaolong as the leader is all the more causing him hate. If he did not have the support of Meng Ao's power, he would have lost his life long ago. But if he collaborates with Cheng Qiao, who cares only for gains, his situation will naturally be very different." Xiao Pan said with a somber expression, "I had not considered this point." Wang Ling heaved out a cold breath. Ever since Black Dragon was born, Liu Bue and Du Bai were at a loss, and in their effort to regain their authority, it's not surprising that they will do this. The problem now is that all of us dislike Lao Ai, so should we take this opportunity to drag him down? Everyone's gaze landed on Xiang Xiaolong again. Once again, Xiang Xiaolong is beginning to feel that fate cannot be changed. Lao Ai is fated not to die so early, that's why this thought suddenly sprouted in all their heads. To Liu Bue, Cheng Qiao's influence is so much lower than Xiao Pan's, and Du Bai and Pu Hu will never be the match of Wang Qi, Li Si, and the rest of their own people. So if Cheng Qiao replaces Xiao Pan as the ruler of Qin, he can only be a puppet ruler and will never be able to have a mind of his own. From this it can be seen that he is now utterly disappointed in his son Xiao Pan. He smiled and said, "What is Lao Ai? Right now our biggest enemy is only Lu Bue, so for now the smartest thing to do is to keep Lao Ai to keep Lu Bue in check, and after that try to get rid of Cheng Qiao and the rest. By then we won't have to worry what Lu Bue will be capable of doing. Xiao Pan is still a little worried as he asked with a furrowed brow, then how should we deal with Cheng Qiao? Xiang Xiaolong smiled, that's easy. Order him to lead an army to take down the state of Zhao, and his relationship with the Zhao will come to light. Everyone marveled at the brilliant suggestion. This is the importance of information. If Xiang Xiaolong is not aware of the relationship between Pu Hu and General Peng Ai from Zhao, he won't be able to think of such a marvelous plan. Xiao Pan was stunned for a moment before he chortled out in laughter, there's no simpler and more direct way than this, but we must wait for the right time. The Black Dragon has just been born recently, I still need some time to consolidate my power. After Li Si became the Minister of Justice, his status has changed greatly. He is no longer trying to conceal his abilities as he announced. Since that is the case, then we should let Lao Ai know very clearly that Lu Bue wants to destroy him, then he'll be at greater odds with Lu Bue. Wang Ling said somberly, but there's pros and cons to this. We can imagine that after this incident, the Dowager will be clear that Lao Ai's power is too little and in future will go all out to help him fight for more power. Wang Qi snorted, no matter how hard she fights, he will never be able to become a great general, so what good use can he be? Xiao Pan stood up and the rest hurriedly stood up and bowed. Xiao Pan said energetically, I will go and host the spring feast immediately. Grand Tutor Xiang can bring a team of imperial guards to escort the Dowager and that fake eunuch to the palace to attend the feast. Just take it that his life is still not the end this time. He then gave a cold snort before leaving. The rest hurried after him. Once Xiang Xiaolong thought of visiting Zhu Ji, he immediately felt a headache coming on. Who would have expected that situations will suddenly arise? He'll be grateful if his plan of taking a long AA vacation is not disrupted because of this. Xiang Xiaolong led the 18 guardsmen and a 50-strong team from Xiao Pan's best imperial guards and went grandly to the Sweet Spring Palace. A group of warriors dashed out from the side to block their paths. Xiang Xiaolong had already guessed that Guanzongzi would order his men to surround Sweet Spring Palace, so he unsheathed his 100-battle sword and shouted, "Who dares to stop me, Xiang Xiaolong?" The guardsmen and imperial guards roared as they brandished their shields, bows and spears and made a formation, protecting Xiang Xiaolong right in the middle with their arrows and spears pointing outwards, ready to fly out at any moment. None of those warriors dared to retaliate as they fled from all sides. The drawbridge to Sweet Spring Palace was drawn and the gates shut tightly. Xiang Xiaolong and his men went to the little moat protecting the palace and reined in their horses. Guanzongzi led Su Shang and 50 to 60 warriors and went up to them, the former asking icily, "Haven't Commander Xiang gone to join in the spring feast?" Xiang Xiaolong thought of Quoxing and wished he could kill him with a stab now. He waited until he came near and reined in his horse before saying with a smile, "If I were to throw my flying needles at official Guan, I wonder how confident will you be at avoiding them?" Guanzongzi and Su Shang's expression paled at the same time, their eyes on his right hand which he deliberately left hanging near the horse's body. The former managed to force out a smile and say, "Commander Xiang must be joking, death will of course be my only outcome." Xiang Xiaolong gave a nonchalant reply, "The both of you had better not move rashly, I am not joking. By surrounding Sweet Spring Palace like this, the both of you have already committed the offense of offending the Dowager. If I were to execute the both of you, who would dare to say that I've done wrong?" Su Shang's reply was calm and steady, "Great General Xiang is mistaken, we are just under Lu Bue's orders to protect Her Majesty." Xiang Xiaolong pretended to be surprised and said, "So I see, in that case you can retreat immediately, just leave the task of protecting her to me." A flash of anger was seen on Guanzongzi's features as he lowered his head, as the great general commands. He shouted, "Everyone, retreat!" He turned his horse's head and galloped away. Sounds of hooves galloping rose. In an instant all the warriors were gone. Xiang Xiaolong called out towards the gates of Sweet Spring Palace, "Lord Ai, please lower the drawbridge." Sounds of machinery were heard as the drawbridge lowered. Xiang Xiaolong ordered his men to keep their weapons and led the way, marching grandly into the palace. He had just stepped past the gates when Lao Ai, Han Xiat, Ling Qi, Lao Si came up to him, all dressed to fight. Xiang Xiaolong jumped off his horse and extended his hand to shake hands with Lao Ai as he said with a laugh, "Lord Lao, please forgive Xiaolong for coming late." Is the dowager alarmed? Lao Ai had a look of gratitude as he said quietly, "This matter